rushed over to the arrivals door and collected Frida, deciding that it would be wiser to ask her to direct lost guests from the desk so that she could keep an eye on her. When she returned to the desk, however, there were another 2 reps who were confused and panicked by the extra guests who had been wrongly directed to their coaches. To make matters worse, her phone rang in the midst of the chaos, and the rep on the other end informed her that a guest who was departing soon had lost their ticket. Damn, not now. How the hell was she supposed to be in a million places all at once? Listen, I have to pop off to departures, she said to the reps that were standing next to her. Can you? She began, but stopped when it hit her that she couldn't possibly leave the situation as it was at the desk and in the coach park. She closed her eyes and tried to think amongst the noise and mayhem. An idea came to her then, but she pushed it out of her mind, desperately striving to come up with an alternative solution to her dilemma. Finally, when a second phone call came from departures again, she was forced to resign herself to the only option that was left. She looked across to Nick and wondered how he would react to a plea for help from her. He knew the job well and would be able to straighten out the mess while she went to sort out a replacement ticket in departures. Nick watched Sal put a hand to her head in frustration as the reps flapped and fussed around her. The phone call had obviously not helped. Neither had the new rep, who had clearly caused some kind of problem in the coach park. Observing Sal's look of panic, Nick actually began to feel sorry for her. Knowing Sal, she was trying to impress people in her role as airport supervisor, but although Nick had no doubt that she could do the job, chaos never failed to follow Sal around. He could offer to help, but no, he'd rather wait for her to ask him. His sense of fun and mischief prompted him to sit there, watching her struggle with the decision. He grinned as she began to walk towards him, only to hesitate and look back towards the desk with second thoughts. She sighed deeply, reluctant to ask him for help and preparing herself for the jibes that were bound to follow. Before she could change her mind, she strode across the gap and stopped in front of him with her arms crossed defensively. Look, they need me in departures, she said abruptly. Right. And she faltered, and he questioned. Well, it's really busy over there, she pointed out. I can see that, he said unhelpfully. His eyes connected with hers, making her edgy. He could offer to help. He could see the situation, but no, instead he just chose to watch her struggle, and she thought he was a friend. Never mind, she said, her pride prompting her to turn and walk away. Hey Sal, he called out. For what it's worth, I'm impressed. I think you're doing a great job. Her expression changed. You do? Oh, don't be so mean. She was trying to impress him, and it wasn't her fault. He should just help her out. She was a friend after all. Sure, but I told you that the new girl would be a handful, he said. She contemplated him for a moment. She is. I'm a bit stuck at the moment, to be honest. I can see that. She tried to figure out what he was thinking. Nick, she began after a few seconds. Yes, he replied, smiling at her. She fiddled with her necktie and averted her eyes. Know how we used to be friends. Still are, I thought, he corrected her. Yes. Anyway, you're about the only person here who has a lot of experience with this sort of, she hinted. I guess I did. She sighed. So will you help me out or not? Of course, he said, rising off the chair. You only have to ask. Her face lit up. On one condition, though, he added. Her face fell. What? She asked warily. Well, I wonder what I can get out of this, he grinned. She huffed and rolled her eyes at him. Now it will involve taking off some sort of clothes for experimental purposes. He raised an eyebrow. Actually, I hadn't thought of that. A good idea, though, Sam. But no, I was just thinking, if you could sum me up as a rep in a few words, how would you describe me? Smug, she smiled. Yes, that sums you up nicely. And I only needed one word as well. Wrong answer, he said, moving to sit back down. Okay, she sighed, contemplating her next answer. You're confident, she settled on. Not exactly the answer I was looking for. The reps are waiting, and the guests look like they're ready to snap, he warned her. She looked behind her nervously. Okay, Mick, sometimes I seriously hate you. Okay, you're the best rep in the world. Now get over there and sort it